Time for some more demos of Next Fest 2022 coverage here on the channel. We're going to be starting off this episode with the game Kingdom Gun. We played the demo to this one a long time ago, but it has since gotten an update. This is essentially a Risk of Rain style game, kind of done in a similar style like of a Genesis game. It really gives me like a remembrance of something like Gunstar Heroes, just in terms of the general aesthetics. But if you didn't play Risk of Rain, your challenge is to keep moving through levels, collecting as many treasure chests full of passive and active goodies as you can, to then interact with the boss door to then beat it. All the while a timer is counting up in this case, and it will write to indicate how hard the levels actually are. If you spend too long, it may become too difficult for you to survive. Beat the boss, you move on to the next, and rinse and repeat. Now, the demo that I played, I don't know if it actually had an end. You're actually seeing footage of it kind of like once I broke the game and everything became super easy. But the general moment-to-moment feels good to play. I like the aesthetics as well. Again, really remind me of a Genesis style design. The game will support between 2 to 4 players and will have online multiplayer as well. And I would say if you are looking for another kind of action roguelite and you have friends who you want to do some shooting with, then definitely check this one out. We now move to Battle Barn Tactics. This is the next game from Tim Ruswick, who was watching as we played this both on the one night and then the night after, and I call it major bugs in both, which I'm pretty sure caused his spirit to leave his body for a few seconds as he was watching the stream. And if he's watching this video right now, hi Tim. But this is a tactical strategy meets roguelike. You have a team of up to 5 different animal fighters, and you're in an intergalactic league to prove that you are the best. Now, the kind of twist of this game is that every animal has different passives that goes with it. Could be gain additional damage if you're near a friend, if you get hit, do X, that kind of thing. Characters' health do not rejuvenate or aren't replenished after each fight. You have to go to specific hospital nodes on the map to do that. Now, the twist of this game, in terms of where things go, is that you can bribe all the enemies, including bosses, to join your side using cupcakes. The cupcakes you earn every time you kill an enemy. The hook or the dynamic is that the more health the enemy has, the more cupcakes it's going to take to bribe them. So if you want that really strong enemy to join you, you want to quickly, or you want to build up a huge mess. But you can also buy some of the weaker enemies whose only purpose could just be to tank a hit during that fight. There's abilities to mix or combine characters, upgrade them throughout the match. And there are additional rules, such as when you kill an enemy, that character gets a free bonus turn, which can lead to some very crazy swings if things go your way. The main issue with the game, besides the bugs that we call, and I call another one while you were playing this, is that the UI, I don't think, gives enough information in terms of who's gone, who hasn't, what's the actual move and attack range, and even just explain the basic systems. But the general moment-to-moment of the game, I think for right now, is on point, and I definitely want to see more where this game goes. We now have Quit Today. This is a 2D side-scroller. Kind of hard to tell if this is a roguelike or procedurally style game. But our story is that one day when we go in for work, we discover that the office thinks that we are quitting. And instead of trying to keep us aboard, everyone decides to try and kill us. So the only thing we can do is, well, fight our way through the various office rooms and try and figure out what is going on. The general gameplay, again, this is pure side-scrolling. You have an attack, dash, guard, and after each room you can choose from one of several upgrades that can either give you more combo, increased damage, better blocking, that kind of thing. Now, the demo itself is 100% linear outside of the different choices at the end of each stage. But there's definitely hints and such of meta progression or persistent elements, and unfortunately I can't tell if that is the case. The moment-to-moment gameplay is solid, but it does feel a little bit repetitive. Some enemies, such as those that have an instant shield or can immediately counter you, feel more annoying to fight than anything else. But this is one that I'm kind of going to keep an eye on and see where it goes. While it's not going to be my all-time favorite beat-em-up, I like the aesthetics, and I think there is certainly something here if you're looking for another side-scroller. And if there are the roguelike elements, or if they are going to be in the main game, I think that will certainly add a lot to this one. But with that said, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we have 3 more games to look at for the video. And if you're interested in more of my thoughts on design, then check out my design books. For entry-level students, we have 20 essential games to study, and then the Game Design Deep Dive series that takes an extensive look at different genres, with free-to-play coming in 2022. We now turn to the game Lapin, and this is a 2D platform where you play as some very adorable bunny rabbits. The animation remind me a lot of the Don Bluth era of animation. But our team of rabbits are leaving their home for the first time, and in order to find a new one. And in order to do that, well, guess what? We are going to be doing a whole lot of platforming. The physics in this one are very close to that of The End Is Nigh, with a few noticeable differences. You're able to climb and hold onto just about any vertical surface, not just to the edges of corners. I'm sure there will be a few that you cannot do in the main game. When you leap off an edge, you kind of leap at a further angle compared to just jumping off just a horizontal platform. There are collectibles and things off the hidden path, and the game seems to be kind of aimed, I wouldn't say at pure beginner level platforming, but maybe a step or two above that. If you're somebody who has completely beaten The End Is Nigh, or I Want to Be the Guy, or Super Meat Boy, Lapin is probably going to be too easy for you. But I would say that this is a great, or at least from the demo, a really solid platformer for somebody who has played an entry-level one and is kind of looking for the next step up without being a sheer, vertical lift or vertical curve in terms of difficulty. So if you are somebody who's looking for a new platform that's not going to be, frustratingly difficult but has just a little bit of an edge to it, I would definitely check this one out. Up now we have Overbowed. This is a modern retro Metroidvania, that was not easy to say, in a vein of Game Boy. You play as the last hero of the world, armed with a magical set of bow and arrows, and you are going to have to save the day fighting enemies and shooting your arrows one at a time. At the moment, or when we first started playing this game, you can only hold up to 3 arrows, and when you fire them, they will replenish slowly over the course of a few seconds. And as you'll play through, I'm sure you're going to find additional upgrades, more arrows, more tech, health, all that good stuff. The controls were alright. I definitely had some issues with it reading my gamepad just because of the dead zone issues, but keyboard was more than serviceable for it. The difficulty can be a little extreme, at least from the demo, as enemies who take more than 3 arrows to kill can be very annoying to fight as they charge you, and you're still just kind of hoping and waiting for your arrows to come back to you. You can bounce on enemies as well, and this one looks like it could be a lot of fun if you are a fan of modern retro games and especially Metroidvanias. For the last game of our video, this is DotAge, a turn-based city builder roguelite, as is described on the store page. Our goal here is that we are trying to found a new settlement, live in peace, but also we are cursed to apocalyptic disasters that threaten to destroy everything that we've built. So no pressure there. The rules of this one is at every turn you will decide where your workers will go. when you've hit confirm, they will work that specific thing. They will do help. They will gather resources, that kind of stuff. At different points, you will get a cursed or a apocalyptic event, as you can see right here. The apocalypse events correspond to, I believe, one or more of different kind of catastrophes. You need to, in order to counter this, to work buildings or gather specific resources that are corresponding to the counter of that curse. And then when the event resolves itself, as you saw right there, the amount of good that you do will then be weighed against the bad, and then it will be up to RNG to decide whether or not you survive that event. If you good or bad, will then change the play going forward. Now, I didn't get to see this in the demo, but the game does promise that you will have a randomly generated tech tree that's built on your elder remembering different kinds of tech and having a forgetful memory. So there's definitely going to be some element of adapting and variance, as different buildings and different things that you can research and construct will have different outcomes in terms of their resources. So for instance, for food, you can gather and plant berry bushes, but you could also set up hunters. You could also set up fisheries. And then there's additional structures you can build that can enhance those resources, such as cooking the food to give you more of an actual, edible resource. You get more villagers by building houses and then having them, do the birds and bees, as the game says. And of course, more people means more food costs, but it also means being able to do more each day. I like this game. I think there's certainly a lot here. It could be on the touch of a slow side for some of you watching this, but if you're a fan of roguelikes and city building, I would definitely check this one out, and I really do want to see more of where this game's going to go in the finished version. But with that said, we're going to wrap up the showcase for tonight. As always, thank you for tuning in. You'll find links to everything down below. Do the liking, subscribing, and commenting, and check out our Discord and Patreon. And as always, come back for daily discussions on game design here and on game wisdom, where it's in the art and science of games. Until next time, take care.